Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is a show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me today is AMC Movie News Associate Editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Good morning. Lovely to be back in the studio. So happy to have Schnepp, Chrisley. Life is good. And on my way to work this morning, I've heard a little tidbit that Stan Lee, the man, the myth, the legend, is coming out with his own cologne called Enough Said. Is that hilarious?
Wow.
Yeah, I want to smell like the Hulk. I want to smell like the Silver Surfer. Now you can. Stan Lee's a bottled assortments. What are they?
Right? I thought that was really silly. But I love you, Stan. Love you, Stan.
All right. Now
I'm wearing Stan Lee's musk right now. No. Enough said. Excelsior.
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
Kind of scary. Now that the backlash of Ben Affleck being cast died down a bit, Affleck himself has finally talked about being cast as the Cape Crusader. On Jimmy Fallon's late night show to chat his new brought up, Affleck discussed how he felt Snyder's take was brilliant, how it was very different than Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale's. He also discussed how Warner Brothers prepared him with archived material of negative reactions to assure them he's a big boy and can handle the repercussions, even after viewing some of the harsh comments firsthand. Amy Rose.
This video clip was fantastic. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was scripted. Because it just felt so. He's like, speaking of man, and like it was just like the perfect transition. But I'm glad. I think that he's very classy. It's true. There's always backlash initially, and I mean Ben Affleck even more so because Batman's not a small character. He's one of the most famous superheroes ever, and of course there's going to be backlash. But I like that. And one of the funniest parts of the video was when he showed. I think it was Christian Bale. It was one of the past. They didn't actually specify what actor. And they were looking at the comments, and someone's like, kill him!
Yeah.
And the way he sounded like Willow from it was so funny. And Affleck was talking about the comments he was looking at. The first one was like, no. If that's the worst of the comments you saw, then you did yourself a favor. So I thought it was, a fun clip. And Ben Affleck's definitely not taking this lightly. And I was hoping we'd get maybe a little more juicy part description of what Snyder had in mind or any of that. And of course he was very professional about it and didn't give us too much to work with. But I definitely think he's taking this seriously. I love that he has a sense of humor about it, and that Warner Brothers definitely prepared him. And that also shows that they didn't take this lightly. That they're like, we know that half the people are going to love this and half the people are not, but he's our boy. We're in the Ben business. And there's casting abilities. I mean, even in Watchmen, people that didn't like that film, I thought the cast was really great. I mean, even with Sucker Punch, all the babes were great, even if the film wasn't that great. I just think that he's usually really good with the casting, and Ben Affleck has a humor, and I think, he deserves at least a shot, so it'll be interesting. What did you think, Schnepp?
Yeah, a very funny segment. I'm glad most of us were all into Ben Affleck when it was announced anyway, so we were ahead of the curve. Now everybody's starting to see our way. It's our way or the highway, guys.
Enough said.
Yeah, so Ben Affleck, a very great choice for Batman as more and more people are starting to see the light. I think, and he has a good sense of humor about it. I'm glad they prepped him with like, here's the Nicolas Cage files. It's like all the people who've played characters before that the fans just went nuts over.
Here's the George Clooney files. ...
Right. Well, we know what happened with that. So
we sure do.
I love it. It's Ben, and he's come from the bottom and worked his way up, and he's a great actor, and now we've seen he's a great director. But let's not forget, he's from Southie. He's from Boston. A couple people on the internet poking fun at him is not going to change his mind about a movie, so I'm excited.
And this is his Daredevil redemption, so here we go.
Leave Daredevil out of it. I loved that movie. James Wan's horror movie follow-up, Insidious, bringing in $41 million on a $5 million budget. A third installment has now been announced, and it's been confirmed that writer Lee Wannell, who penned the first two screenplays, will be back to write the third. There is no mention of a director or actors so far, and it seems unlikely that Wan will be back, as he recently stated that he is finished with the horror genre. Schnepp, what do you think of this Insidious 3 news?
I think it's good news. You know what? I saw Insidious, and I was not a super fan of it. I liked the first half and did not like the second half. And then I saw The Conjuring, and I loved The Conjuring. So now that Insidious 2 has come out, I've still not seen it yet, but I'm going to see it based on everyone's reviews and people telling me how clean. So now I'm sold on it, so I want to see it.
Yes.
And someone's just going to, back up a dump truck at James Wan's house and be like, come on, man, do that trilogy. How many directors get to finish a trilogy? Like you did 1 and 2 and you're going to bail on 3? Look, Abrams can't do the 3rd Star Trek. I know a lot of the Trekkies are happy about that, but I'm not. I would have liked him to have finished the trilogy. So, Juan, if you're listening, do that 3rd movie. Just get that money, son.
Get the dollar bills, yo. I saw Insidious 2. I did the junket in New York, and it is deliciously weird, as you called it, bonkers. It's so out there, and it's poor. That's what I loved it. And I actually asked the actors, I'm like, how would you categorize this film? Because it has so many different elements, and it's really weird. I definitely was smirking a lot. And he's so good at The Conjuring. Like, he's so good at this genre, and just because you're really great at something doesn't necessarily mean you have to walk away from it forever. You're doing Fast 7, son. You know, I think that is definitely straying away from what you've been.
That's more than a toe dip. That's like
exactly
360. Yeah.
And I think part of why Insidious Chapter 2 was so good is that all of the elements were there from the first. It was literally the same thing, and it felt like that. It literally picked up from right in the beginning. The end of the first film picked up right in the beginning of the next, and I love that. And I just think that maybe a big element will be missing if Juan does not come back. And it's not to say that someone might not get in there and do a good job. But, also speaking with the actors, one of the big reasons they wanted to come back was because they loved working with Juan. So does that mean it's going to be a whole new, reboot, have nothing to do with the original film, really? So it will be interesting, but I definitely like what you said. If he could finish the trilogy, I think he'd be great at it. And he's already, diversifying it up a bit, so why not?
We'll not be seeing it. But Schnepp was polling. We were in an elevator the other night, and he was polling all the people in the elevator that had just come out of the movie, and they were all said that it was amazing and scary. So
it's creepy.
You have that awkward silence in an elevator. I love breaking it and just like busting off like right away talking to someone. So what movie did you see? The whole family was like, we saw, Insidious 2, and then another couple was like, we saw it too. It was like, was it scary? Did you like it? They all liked it, and one person was like, it wasn't that scary, and then the girlfriend was like, he's lying.
All right, my friends, we are now at the buy or sell portion of the show. For you new subscribers and the oldies but goodies out there, we'll refresh you what this is all about. Miss Chrisley is going to read a couple other items going on in the world of movie news, and Schneppy and I are simply going to say if we buy or sell it. So what you got picked out today, lady?
Well, it doesn't look like we'll see any Pepper Potts in the upcoming Avengers sequel. In a recent interview on returning for the film, Gwyneth Paltrow stated, "I don't think so. Nobody has asked me." What is it called? Age of Ultron? Oh, Amy Rose, buy or sell? No Pepper Potts in Avengers Age of Ultron.
I'm going to sell. I really like Pepper Potts. I really liked, regardless of what everyone thought about Iron Man 3, she was a badass in it. I loved watching her step into her power, and the thing I really like about Pepper is that she's not an over-sexualized female character. She's badass, she's intelligent, she's the whole package. And so to have her kind of balance it out, love me some Black Widow, but she's in skin-tight spandex, my friends. So it's definitely, it's cool to have another end of the female spectrum in there, and real Tony would keep her very far from the danger anyway, but I just like that she's pretty much the only one that can keep him in check for, their couple little scenes together. Like, she definitely rules the roost, so I'm a little disappointed, but if she doesn't even know the title, I think it's pretty clear at this point that she's not going to be in the film.
I'm going to buy it simply because I don't believe that she's not in it. It's one of those things where it's like you just have to show up on set in front of a green screen for one day. So literally, and here's your wig if you shaved your head. You know what I mean? Like, she can do it like that.
Yeah.
And they could call her in 5 months.
I hope so.
And I think that's going to happen. They're like, oh, you're in the middle of a shoot? We will fly you to set. It'll be like, we'll shoot at 2 a.m. I mean,
and
literally.
She's a secondary character.
Yeah.
She's not,
I mean, it's like, I don't think that Tony Stark, Downey, would be in it, and he wouldn't have some of his ancillary cast members, including the most important one.
Yeah.
Especially after Iron Man 3.
They're so good together. They really are. They have such good chemistry.
It'll happen. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sure that she'll be in a few scenes.
Schnepp, I love it.
Fingers crossed. Fast and Furious fans, if you liked Sean Boswell in Tokyo Drift, you're in for a treat. It's being reported upcoming 7th installment, but potentially for the 8th and 9th. Schnepp, buy or sell Black returning for the next 3 films of the Fast franchise.
I'd have zero opinion, so I'm selling it, yo.
No!
Oh! I didn't see Tokyo Drift, so I only saw the first 2 and then the last 2. So I got some catching up to do with Fast and the Furious, or maybe never.
I am going to buy it because I really do like Lucas Black in Tokyo Drift. His accent was a little silly, let's be real, but I still really liked his character, and this kind of gives me hope that they actually do have a plan for this franchise, that, you know, him joining Toretto's crew and all of that, like, it's going to just kind of make the universe feel like a real universe. And there's also some questions, because that actually, not going to reveal a big spoiler, but one of the characters was no longer with us after that, so I would like to just kind of see how they're gonna fold that into it. And but one thing about this, already 8 and 9, can't you pretend that you're taking this one film at a time and you're not just like beating the dead horse to the ground?
No.
Can't you just pretend?
No.
Damn.
No. And because Schnepp didn't have an opinion, I'm going to hesitantly buy, because Tokyo Drift was my least favorite of the franchise. It was something that I did not like, but bringing going to make me feel better about him in the movie and not worse like I did after Tokyo.
He's taking some more acting lessons.
Yeah, Tokyo was bad. Bad.
So this is like Drift, like they had the neural bridge between 2 cars with Vin Diesel.
Obviously.
Okay.
Totally. In next 2 installments, ID Forever Part 1 and ID Forever Part 2, having already locked release dates, may not turn out to be a trilogy after all. In a recent interview, Emmerich stated, "We'll only do the first part because we want to have the audience decide if they want to see the second. Otherwise, it feels arrogant. But I'm pretty confident with the right script. Mythology around these aliens, which is really cool. You have to create a mythology because people want to see a bigger picture." Amy Rose, buy or sell Emmerich's approach?
I'm going to buy it. I think that this is insightful, and I don't really know if we need a trilogy. There is definitely value in shooting it back to back, like the Peter Jackson approach, you know, or Avatar, James Cameron's going to do that for resources, for, you know, keeping it age-wise for the actors. Like, there's a lot to kind of see how this one goes. And the second part, before they overly commit, because let's be real, Emmerich's films are not cheap.
I am going to sell this 1,000,000 times over. Supercell is what I'll call it. Is there a supercell sound effect that you can add, Dennis?
Supercell.
Supercell.
Is the Dream Crusher back?
Dream Crusher is in full effect. I think this is one of the dumbest ideas for a sequel I've ever heard of. It's way too late. I think they should make the Blade Runner sequel before they make ID Forever Part 1. And I don't care that they're not making a Part 2, because I think the studios kind of like had a snap decision, like, oh my God, we're going to waste hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie that is in all probability going to flop, like flip-flop waffle style.
His movies make money.
Sorry, I think this is going to be a bigger flop than After Earth. And it doesn't matter if Will Smith is going to be an independent forever part. I can't even say the title.
I
ID
agree
Forever.
that the titles are awful.
If they change the title, my hatred will go down from a 60 to it'll go up. Or no, it'll go down to like a 45.
Emmerich's just rambling you up, huh?
Yeah, the title is the least of the problems. I think when Emmerich's, just hearing him talk about the film kind of made me angry, and it could be like Chris Lee was telling me earlier, like his his inflection and maybe just the way his process
cultural
of
difference.
The cultural English language is like, but the way it sounded like to me was like a Dick and Jane book. Like, I will make the people understand the mythology of aliens. We have added that because people like a big movie.
Aww.
And I get it.
He's done. Like that
I know I'm going a little too simpleton style, but I know he's not an idiot. But it's just like it just sounded too like condescending to me. Like, yeah, people need a bigger picture, so we threw a little more flavor for the aliens. And look, I mean, I think the first movie was stupid. They had the floppy disk ending where they just put a floppy disk into the alien's hard drive.
You doubt Jeff Goldblum's genius?
No, Jeff Goldblum gets a pass. He is hilarious. He is always a bright spot of any movie, good or bad. Jeff Goldblum rocks. I can't say that about Independence Day. It was just stupid. It was a knockoff of Alien.
Fun.
All the alien designs.
It's a blockbuster fun time.
I know, and I like seeing big dumb movies. And Independence Day was okay. It was fun. I remember Bill Pullman was awesome. It had its moments, but it also had such horrible, big, stupid moments that unless they have a giant Steve Jobs on the alien mythology planet making hard drives, like floppy disks, like, we followed your Wozniak.
Or
some,
maybe
like,
some Scientologist references.
yeah, anything that would make sense as to why a hard drive with a floppy disk was usable in alien technology. It's a sticking point, Emmerich. Fix it. I don't know. That's just
You're
me.
excited,
I'm
right,
just
Presley?
one
I'm
person.
so excited. Stuff's going to blow up. Possibly another monument because the White House has been done too many times. And I'm really excited.
New monuments
Love
for
Emmerich.
destruction.
New
Emmerich.
monuments.
Yeah, the script is the most important thing, right, guys?
New floppy disk.
Yeah,
Yay.
floppy disk part 2.
Model Emily Ratajokowski was last seen naked in Robin Thicke's promiscuous blurred lines video and will be next appearing in David Fincher's Gone Girl, starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. Ratajkowski will be playing Andy, a college student who's having an affair with Affleck's Nick Dune. Schnepp, buy or sell Ratajkowski joining Gone Girl. I said her name 3 different ways all 3 times, hoping one of them was right.
I think you did great.
Either way, any way you say her name, I think she's just going to be nude in the film.
Yeah.
I think I buy it. First of all, I don't know if you guys saw the video. I can't stand that song, but for some reason I've watched the video several times. It's
don't know
weird,
why.
totally weird.
Weird.
But yeah, she got cast just like for the same reason that gal from Transformers 3 was in there. That one
Yeah.
model, because it's like, I'm sorry, David Fincher doesn't search somebody down because it's like, you were an incredible actress in that Blurred Lines Alan Thicke Sons video, because the way your nakedness was telling me things.
Yeah. You could always tell how good of an actress is by how she stands naked.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
completely pure. Come on. He's
Aw.
like, I love the video, but I didn't really like the naked chicks in it.
Yeah.
I am really torn on this one because I did read the book, so I know what the character should be like in my mind. Yeah, I'll be optimistic and I will buy it because she is freaking hot. Let's not pretend here. She's really hot. It is a bit of the Michael Bay effect for sure. But Andy, like physically, that is what I imagined her to look like when I looked up her picture. So, and she really is a secondary character. She's not a big part in it. The book is so amazing. I'm so excited to see what David Fincher does with it. But, you know, I'm a little skeptical. I'm kind of split. Maybe I'll buy and sell this. I'll buy that she's hot as hell. And I will cautiously, optimistically, I'll just buy it all together. Hopefully she has acting chops. We don't know yet. And if she does bad in this, then she'll go back to being naked in video. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
So you read the book. Does she have a lot of dialogue in the book? Is she
I mean, she is. She does take off her clothes in one scene, you know what I mean?
but we kept the nakedness part in there.
No, I
We
mean,
knew she was
there's
comfortable with
dialogue.
nudity.
I mean, she is, you know, the mistress of Ben Affleck's character, Nick Dune.
Okay.
So, and you know, do you know the general premise of the story?
He's accused of murdering
Yeah,
his
of his
yeah.
wife. His wife disappears, and this is his mistress. So, yeah, she's not a huge part, but it is still a very important part.
I guess that makes sense to
So-
be like, well, you had a mistress. There should be a reason that you were cheating on your wife.
'cause
There it
she's a hot
is.
babe.
Yeah, it's like.
And she's supposed to be a college student. That's always so funny to me.
That's right.
They get this way- it's like the high school comedies when they're like in their late 20s. It's
Eastbound
so
and Down
funny.
makes it the best thing, where you have the extra dumb college student.
Actor Leonardo DiCaprio is eyeing a big screen adaptation of A. Scott Berg's Wilson, telling the story of our 28th president, Woodrow Wilson. It is said that the book offers up a heroic, larger-than-life Wilson, along serve as the basis for a film. DiCaprio would produce as well as star as the title character. Amy Rose, buy or sell DiCaprio starring as Wilson?
I'm going to sell it, and not because I in any way doubt DiCaprio's talent. I think he is one of the most fantastic actors. He can do everything. I can't wait for The Wolf of Wall Street, Scorsese's next film. I just think he's so incredible, but I rather see him continue to push the envelope, continue to do something else like Rasputin. I know a lot of people think that would be weird, but that would be a challenge, and I want to continue to see him challenge himself, and I love him so much as an actor, so I'd like to see him do something else.
I'm going to buy it as long as Wilson is portrayed as a superhero. Because they said, we're going to take some liberties, larger than life. I instantly see Woodrow Wilson flying in like a weird silver outfit, fighting to it, DiCaprio.
Well, DiCaprio is the king of the world.
Schnepp.
That's right. Yes, yelling, I'm king of the world.
I'm the king of the world.
While he's smashing the moon with his giant hands.
So, are you going to sell it if it doesn't?
Yeah,
if
no,
it's actually
I'm
president?
selling it. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, guys, we have now reached the mailbag portion of the show. Back by popular demand, we take your user-submitted questions. Miss Chrisley has a couple picked out. What tickled your fancy today, lady?
Well, Andre writes, "Hey guys, I love your show. Totally hooked. I just want to ask about Tom Hardy being the next James Bond. I was surfing the net yesterday because you guys weren't posting any videos for 2 days, and I saw a report that Tom Hardy is wanted to play as the next Bond. What do you guys think? I personally want this to push through. I think Tom Hardy is one of the best actors out there today."
Thank you for the question. Don't worry, the withdrawals work both ways. We missed you just as much as you missed us when we have a little break.
That was a little bit passive aggressive, though, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, you're blaming us for you going online.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you just be online surfing the internet anyway? That's a very weird way to phrase it. Since you guys didn't have your shows, had to do other things, like look at news and stuff online.
I love that you're taking all the negative spins and I'm taking the positive side. We're so beautifully divided
Dream
today.
crusher today,
We're
ladies and
middle,
gentlemen.
I'm right in the
Dream
middle.
crusher is back.
Yep.
All right, so back to the question and not the passive-aggressive nature of it, apparently. I don't know. When I first heard that, I was like, no, he's too short. But I actually looked up his height, and he's 5'9", and Daniel Craig's only an inch taller. So apparently that's not really a factor. Not to mention, Tom Cruise has made a living on being an incredible action star, and he's very short. So they have magical ways to film you where you look larger than life, just like James Bond is supposed to be. So I definitely think that he's very good looking. He's a great actor, even when he speaks in Sean Connery Bane voice. And I like him. I think he's got that suave nature. He's British, and he's solid at action as well. Well, those are the two things I'd really want in my Bond. I do love Daniel Craig. I really love Sam Mendes and Craig together, so I'm really excited they're doing another film. But sooner or later, he's not going to sign on for another picture, and we are going to have to face this. I'm still hoping for Idris Elba. Not going to lie, I think it's time that we have a badass, sexy black Bond, and he's British. What's up? But I definitely think that Tom Hardy is not a bad choice. He kind of, has all those core essential traits that I would want in my Bond. What do you think, Schnepp?
Yeah.
I think it's a weird choice, Tom Hardy. I think he's a great actor.
And I think that Tom Cruise is only 4 stone tall. 4 stones tall.
This is Gotham's reckoning.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll just pick it down. I'm not even doing Bane anymore.
I think, Tom Hardy's an incredible actor. If you haven't seen Bronson, check that out.
Bronson's
it's a tour
so
de force. And, I don't know. I mean, anybody can be Bond if they're a great actor. So I'll say that.
Anybody can be Bond?
If they're a great actor, I'll stick to it.
Wow.
I think Paul Giamatti could be an amazing
No.
Bond. No, I'm just kidding. With the right constraints.
Wait a minute.
I know. Hang on a second. But, hey, you said Idris Elba. I say, why not get that model from the Gone Baby Gone, the new
Ratajokowski?
Yeah, Ratajokowski.
It just shows that hot people just have life easier.
Hot people, she can be the new Bond. Why not?
No.
She just proved herself in that music video, Blurred Lines. I say make her the female James Bond. Bam, that
dear.
happened.
And people have been acting for decades, won't get opportunities.
Decades of, I've been doing theater. No, this young girl is now James Bond because she was naked in a video.
Winning.
Tom Hardy is a good call for a different choice as James Bond. If you're gonna
Jon
go
Schnepp for James Bond.
I'd say Benedict Cumberbatch or Michael Fassbender, but a million other people already said that. So I haven't really thought about who the new James Bond would be. So I'll just
But
be
not Tom
negative.
Hardy.
I'll just be negative and say not Tom Hardy. How
Okay.
about that?
Aw.
Hello, AMC Movie Talk. Love your show. A few weeks ago, you were running down a list of actresses who would be able to play Lara Croft. But have you ever considered Alison Carroll in that category? I mean, she's got the looks and she's beautiful. What do you guys think? Alison Carroll?
Alison Carroll is a beautiful lady, and she's dressed up as Lara Croft because she was hired to be Lara Croft from 2008 to 2010 by the people who make the video game Lara Croft. So she's definitely looks like the newer version of Lara Croft, and she's very beautiful. David Fincher has proven you can get someone who's a model and naked, who's in a music video.
Maybe she's going to give an Academy Award winning performance. We don't know.
You're right. I'm just saying, like, look, I bet she's the new star. I'm just saying.
Now, in her job as walking around as Lara Croft, did she actually have to like run around and do
Seeing pictures.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't investigated
Do we
this.
know?
I guess that's my
Okay.
homework assignment for tonight is to find out
You have
everything
homework.
I can about Alison Carroll
Please
and watch
do.
all the videos that are
Please do.
available.
I definitely think she's good looking. I mean, obviously we know she can look like Lara Croft because we have the photo proof. But again, I haven't seen her acting abilities either. And I have my heart set on a couple other ladies. Emilia Clarke, #1, Game of Thrones, Khaleesi, hot. She's British. She's everything you want her to be and more. I adore her. And I really still think that Gemma Arterton would be amazing.
That's
I
a
think
great choice.
She is everything I want her to be and more. And I love the new game. I think it's great. And I love that we're going to a younger Lara Croft and, you know, kind of show her rise into this world. So
Like sort of like Brandon Routh was Superman, Alison Carroll was Lara Croft, and they're gonna move forward with a new actress. That's just how these things usually work out. So
Yeah.
I mean, she was great as Lara Croft and did a full run for multiple years as Lara Croft and kept the brand alive. So I just don't think that she'll be part of the new version of Lara Croft, because seeing as she was already,
Yeah.
and they're done with that. That ended in 2010. So.
And people also put, what's her name, the one that the new game. I'm still being on her name right now, but people also have thrown her name in the ring. And
Right, she's also really beautiful.
yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
All
And they
these,
used her face
exactly.
for the newer version that just came out in 2013.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So she's also in contention.
All right, guys, that will do it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate the support. I would like to thank our lovely host, Chrisley.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chrisley.
Jon Schnepp.
Yes, Woodrow forever.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram, just Jon Schnepp, and follow my vines. I'm making a lot of weird sound effect stuff recently, and so you know.
I love weird sound effects.
And
stuff.
please follow my Facebook page, the Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. I'm posting stuff there a lot, and I also have a regular just Jon Schnepp page that is just, you can follow my regular weird stuff that I do, so cartoons and all that
That's
stuff.
why we love you, buddy. And I'll be sure to include in the show notes his little teaser trailer for his upcoming amazing documentary. So happy our main man Dennis is back in the studio with us.
Dennis!
Feels good to be home.
Oz.
Hey, Dennis, show a picture, just pick one from your travels
Great idea.
in Greece.
Just
Just
one.
slap one, or two, or four.
No, one.
Just
Pressure is
only
high.
one, the best one.
The best one.
So.
And thank you so much again for being here. Jump in those comments, subscribe, share. We really appreciate the support. Once again, I'm Amy Rose with AMC Movie News. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.